from shrapnel when the blast emits from the barracks. TZO.
Spit it off the Richter when I hit it. Everybody listen, they can feel it. I'm a literary visionary.
Hey guys, how you doing? We're here with the last episode of the weight manipulation series, episode 4, and this is actually one of my favorite topics. We taught you different methods of gaining and losing weight, and now we want to kind of talk about when you should apply, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight. And for me personally, the way I look at it, outside of personal health reasons, you know, if your doctor's telling you you're too overweight, or you know, if you have extremely high blood pressure or anything like that, where a doctor's involved, I feel like you should try to stay in a calorie surplus when you first start lifting for as long as possible. And the reason I say that is because obviously you don't have to get fat when you do this. You can do, you know, a small surplus, but you will be able to really maximize all these newbie gains that you'll be getting. So you'll be able to put on the most muscle possible, which will also help you. We'll talk about how that helps you in the long run. And really, personally for me, I like to do kind of maybe every other year, I'll try to diet down. And it's really going to have to do with when I want to get into a certain weight class, or you know, if I just want to come down for fun. But I really won't try to get too lean more than once every 2 years, because I really want to maximize having those extra calories, you know, putting on strength and size as much as I can possibly do that.
You need food. Food's good for you. I don't know why anybody would want to cut for a prolonged period of time. A lot of the time you see people who are cutting and they look lean like 24/7, and it's usually really hard to do that. So it's really nice to be able to gain that solid mass by eating and working out hard, and then you can go into your cutting phase. And the cutting phase, apart from health reasons, if you're competing and you're about to compete, that's when you would cut. You can also do it when you're trying to look good for summer, but for the most part, you should be trying to build muscle. It gives you a solid foundation overall.
Yeah, and another advantage of really just taking the time to put on good size and put on good strength is someone who's bigger and stronger will be able to burn more calories. And what that means is when you're going throughout your day, when you're definitely trying to diet down, you're not going to have to try as hard. You know, someone who's 250 pounds at 15% body fat is not going to have to, you know, do 3 hours of cardio every day and eat 1,200 calories to lose weight. You know, they'll have to, you know, put in very minimal effort compared to somebody who was 150 pounds and, you know, 20% body fat. And you really only get those types of advantages by taking the time to put on, you know, a solid size when you're outside of that. And you want to remember, you know, it's not just about looking good now, because I've met a lot of people, especially when they're just starting out to work out, and you know, they'll in their first year, you know, they'll be so worried about trying to get lean, and then they finally get lean and they haven't really put on a foundation, so they really just look skinny. And you know, that's not really the goal. If you're really focused on aesthetics, is you want to build a good mass, you know, a good foundation, so that when you shed down, you actually have something to show. So you have to remember, it's a long-term game. It's not about, you know, just looking good this year or next year. You know, it's about how good can you look, you know, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the road. And just like in terms of like personal remedies, you know, how we do it. If I'm overweight, that usually means that I'm about 5 to 10 pounds over my competition weight, which depends on if I'm doing, you know, 24-hour weigh-in or 2-hour weigh-in. And I'll just try to do that, and I'll do what's called a water cut going into my competition, which is, I guess, technically a form of weight manipulation. It's not really a dieting method. It's just a way for me to maximize the size I still have, maximize my leverages, and be able to kind of, you know, just play with my weight, where I can, you know, sweat out 10 pounds of water and then put it right back before I compete. What about you, Leslie? How do you like to go about your bulking and cutting phases, and when do you like to implement them?
So, for example, last year I did a competition, a men's physique show, and for that one, I started cutting about 4 months out, and with the cut, it was a little intense. It was not fun at all. I took too long. There were little things and technicalities that I didn't really pay attention to, so 3 weeks out I had to drop a lot of weight very quickly. So everything was vegetables and meat, usually chicken breast, and it was painful. But afterwards, I'm actually competing in powerlifting now, and I'm eating all the food. The process takes time, I would say. Especially building that solid foundation, it takes time, and you guys should really focus on enjoying that process to give you the longevity that you want in the sport.
And just to kind of close out, I know we talked a lot about bulking. When I do diet down, personally for me, I like to actually give myself the most time I can really do. I know some people don't like dieting for a long period of time, but for me, I would like to take maybe 4 to 5 months to just do a very nice and slow diet. And part of that is I don't have to do a crazy deficit. The other part is I'm lazy and usually end up cheating on my diet a lot, so it gives me that extra time to really balance it out, so I'm not stressing, a month out saying, oh, I have to lose 15 pounds. So really, anything you're doing, you want to give it patience, you want to give it time, and just really, just ease it into it. Enjoy this process, enjoy being able to have the advantage of changing your body at your will, and just kind of be smart about when you want to implement each way.